Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
The entire viewing area is under a level 1 threat for severe storms today due to the threat of damaging winds. I'll let you know when these storms begin to fire up coming up.
Right now at noon, an active investigation playing out on the side of I-40. What we know about the situation as it's unfolding.
And a big score for a Durham chip maker. What a 10-year contract means for Wolfspeed's plans to expand. And good afternoon to you on this Wednesday. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. We are all under a level 1 risk for severe weather today. Let's get right to Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center for a look at what to expect and when.
And it's important to say this time of year, when we get into the summer months with these level 1 risks, just because you are in the risk doesn't mean that you will see a severe storm. What this means is pretty much all over North Carolina and South Carolina, where the storms develop today, there's going to be a lot of energy. So any thunderstorms that do develop have the potential to be severe. The threat, damaging wind gusts, hail, if we see any at all, would likely be on the smaller side and not in the severe category. There could also be some pretty heavy rain out there that could affect you driving on the roads and lead to some localized flooding. So far, we've seen one tiny shower that's popped up in Nash County. Elsewhere, things have been dry. I think as we get past 1 o'clock, we'll have a chance of a thunderstorm popping up between about 1 and 3. But the better chance for thunderstorms is going to come after 4 o'clock today and into the evening hours around dinner time tonight would be when I think we had the best chance of a storm in the triangle. For Fayetteville, you could see more rain today after some of the thunderstorms you saw last night. And it's really the southern part of our viewing area that still have the best chances for storms today, though I think we could see a few showers and storms even around the triangle and points north. This could help out with the heat, though. The maximum heat index today right around 100 in the triangle, 102 in Fayetteville, 98 is what it could feel like in Rocky Mount. So I know many of us want some rain for our yards, our gardens, and to help us cool off. I'll have a closer look at what to expect this weekend coming up.
Kat, thanks. Wake County will open its cooling stations again today to help people escape the heat and humidity. Folks can stop by the county's public libraries during normal hours. Several other locations will also act as cooling shelters. They include Wake County Health and Human Services and the Eastern, Northern, and Southern Regional Centers. Those stations will be open until 5:15 p.m.
We're following some breaking news out of Durham right now. Part of I-40 eastbound was shut down this morning.
One lane was closed while the family of a woman who had been in a car wreck searched for her. WRAL's Monica Casey is on scene there right now. Monica, what have you seen?
Well, Renee, we are just before exit 270 on I-40 eastbound. Troopers had part of this right lane shut down here, and they reopened it less than 10 minutes ago, but it is still causing a major backup for miles on I-40 eastbound. These backups started just before 9:30 this morning. That's when the family of a woman they say was in a car wreck last night was searching for her. That woman's mother had posted on social media that her daughter had been in a car wreck where the vehicle flipped multiple times, but she had not been located. Sky 5 flew over the scene here where friends and family were searching for that woman. We know they had been searching for more than an hour when some family left the scene. We're still working on official confirmation on whether that woman was found and her current condition. The other friends and family left the scene here again just about 10 minutes ago. It is completely clear now. The road has reopened, but there are still backups for miles behind us here. Renee?
All right, Monica Casey reporting live on the county line, Wake County and Durham County. A family of 9 is out of their home after a fire linked to fireworks. This happened early this morning in Selma on Myrtle Road, just off I-95. The fire broke out around 1:30 this morning. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker drove to the scene. The fire chief says the fire started from used fireworks thrown in the trash outside. They caught fire and spread to the home. Fire crews say half of the home was damaged. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The Red Cross is helping the family.
Millions of people are returning home after traveling for the Independence Day holiday. And for those of you traveling by car, you may notice some extra traffic out there today. This is a look at I-40 at Aviation Parkway, and AAA says more than 40 million people drove to their destinations this year. That's an increase of more than 2% from last year. To avoid heavy traffic, you'll want to hit the road before 2 this afternoon. According to AAA, the worst time for drivers to be out there is between 3 and 6 p.m. Today is also expected to complete a record-setting holiday at RDU International Airport. Ken Smith is in the WRAL Live Center with a look at the conditions there right now. Ken?
Yeah, Jeff, we've been tracking the status of flights at RDU International since our morning news this morning. I can tell you the delays have been mounting throughout the morning, and right now there are about 25 flights delayed at RDU International. The good news, no cancellations today, but the airlines most impacted appear to be Iceland Air, Southwest Airlines, and Avelo Airlines. Let's give you a look at the big picture nationwide. We've been tracking those numbers too. You can see right here, more than 1,500 flights are delayed all across this country. And in terms of cancellations, 116 flights canceled right now. And as you just mentioned, Jeff, the busiest travel day happening today. Many people returning home for their Independence Day celebrations and holiday.
Ken, thank you. Big news for a Durham company. Wolfspeed just landed a huge contract. WRAL's Brian Schrader has a look at what this means for the Triangle area. Brian.
Renee, we learned this morning that Wolfspeed signed a 10-year contract to help make semiconductors for Japan-based Renesas Electronics. Now, this is video of that big plant that Wolfspeed is building near Siler City in western Chatham County. The new agreement calls for the wafers to be produced at that plant in Siler City. It also provides Wolfspeed with a $2 billion cash deposit that will help with the company's expansion plans. Renesas has an operation here in the Triangle in Morrisville. The company is going to use the microchips in many applications, including in vehicles, home electronics, and industrial products. Now, investors love this morning's announcement. Wolfspeed's stock price up about 15% in midday trading.
And that cash infusion helps speed things up a bit. Brian Schrader, thank you. Let's take a look at stocks now. The Dow Jones Industrial in the red, down 94 points at this hour. We also have some of the other indices, S&P 500, also in the red, just down a few points. NASDAQ down 30 points as we resume this shortened trading week.
We're working to learn more about what happened here. As Sky 5 showed you earlier this morning, this scene played out during our 7 a.m. news. A deadly shooting on Hilton Drive in Fayetteville this morning. A man died there. 2 other people were taken to the hospital after being shot. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey spoke with investigators.
The shooting happened here on the 800 block of Hilton Drive. I'll step out the way so you can take a look at what we're seeing here at the scene. Neighbors and loved ones are clearly still emotional about what happened. When we pulled up a while back, we saw more than a dozen people standing around near the crime scene tape watching the investigators, and cars were lined up all throughout the neighborhood. Check out this video of the scene earlier this morning from Sky 5. Police got a call just after 4:15 a.m. about gunshots in the area. When they got there, they saw that one man was shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The 2 other people were taken to Cape Fear Valley Medical Center for their injuries. No word yet on a suspect or their motive, but police say this wasn't a random act. We're still waiting to get more information about the identity of the man who was killed. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Fayetteville.
A boil water advisory has been extended for thousands in Johnston County. The town of Selma says water is still unsafe to drink without boiling it first. Officials issued an additional 24-hour advisory Tuesday evening around 6. This is all because of a water main break crews repaired Monday over at River Road near Thompson Drive. The advisory impacts about 2,900 customers.
More affordable housing opportunities may be coming to Raleigh. City Council will vote today on leasing 10 city-owned lots to Southeast Raleigh Promise Housing. Now, the plan is to build 27 affordable rental development units for low to moderate income households. Those properties are on East Lee Street, South Person Street, Gregg Street, Spalding Street, and East Edenton Street. The city would use more than $3 million from the 2020 Affordable Housing Bond for the project.
The Powerball jackpot is getting into the territory where many more people start thinking, you know, I might play. Tonight's top prize, $546 million. It's the second time this year the price has risen to more than $500 million. No one has won the Powerball jackpot since April maybe it could be you. You can watch tonight's drawing on WRAL just before the 11 o'clock news. Next at noon, researchers are putting a price tag on the damage to businesses in France after a week of riots.
Plus, if you feel like we've had a lot of mass shootings this holiday weekend, the numbers agree with you. We'll walk you through a new analysis of gun violence in the U.S.
And stick with us. In our next half hour, you'll meet an artist taking chalk drawings to the next level by optimizing them for sharing on social media. The United Nations nuclear chief says Japan can release radioactive water from the Fukushima power plant into the Pacific Ocean. An international team spent several hours examining the retired nuclear power plant this morning. The water in the cooling system was contaminated after an earthquake in 2011. Teams have been treating the water and storing it on site. They are a few months away from running out of space. The UN team said the water has negligible amounts of radioactivity in it to impact humans and plan to monitor its impact on marine life.
A week of riots in France caused more than $1 billion in damages. That's the estimate from a French business association. The riots sparked last week after a police officer shot and killed a teenager. Protesters have attacked nearly 400 banks and looted more than 1,000 shops across the country. And that's not counting the damages from protests and strikes over pension reforms.
A federal judge says the Biden administration and federal agencies can no longer contact social media companies about certain content. The recent ruling specifically bans them from requesting the companies take down content that contains free speech. Some of the agencies listed include the Department of Health and Human Services, the Justice Department, and the FBI. The ruling does not prevent the government from contacting companies to address national security threats.
Cocaine at the White House. It's not a misprint. An investigation is underway this morning as authorities work to figure out how it got there. Secret Service agents found a powdery substance in a work area of the West Wing on Sunday, prompting a brief evacuation. NBC News has reported in just the last 15 minutes, the test confirmed the powder was in fact cocaine. President Joe Biden was not in the White House at the time. The president had been at Camp David for several days and returned last night.
Families of the victims of the Parkland school shooting in Florida can get tours of the crime scene starting today. Some families requested private individual tours of the building where the shooting happened in 2018. The crime scene has been preserved since the shooting, which left 17 students and teachers dead. Prosecutors, law enforcement officers, and victim advocates will lead the tours. Public access will not be allowed. With the July 4th holiday coming to a close, this country is dealing with a uniquely American problem, gun violence.
We have seen mass shootings in the last few days in nearly 10 states. As CNN's John Lawrence reports, data shows the July 4th holiday has seen the most mass shootings than any other day in a calendar year over the past few years.
For some people, fireworks may be the first thing they associate with July 4th. But there's a continuing trend that links fatal shootings to the holiday.
Everybody was right here, and they was just popping fireworks, like doing burnouts and stuff, and then there was a lot of gunfire that just started ringing out, and then everybody just started running everywhere.
According to CNN's analysis of data from the Gun Violence Archive since 2014, the Independence Day holiday has had the most mass shootings compared to the rest of the year.
This is insanity. This cannot be the society that we are expected to live in.
Both CNN and the GVA consider a mass shooting an incident where 4 or more people are injured or killed, not including the shooter. Over the past few days, heading into this year's July 4th, numerous mass shootings were reported in Philadelphia, Fort Worth, Texas, and Baltimore.
I think, frankly, people are tired of the finger pointing in the politics, and nothing happens. And nothing gets done except we just continue going from tragedy to tragedy.
The July 4th holiday weekends from 2020 through 2022 saw double-digit shootings in a single day. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The analysis also shows gun violence on the rise in summer months. After counting the 10 days with the most mass shootings since 2014, 9 of them were in June, July, or August.
A train derailment in Wisconsin forced a 4-hour road closure Tuesday. Authorities say 29 cars derailed from a Canadian Pacific train. The train was not transporting any hazardous material and does not threaten the community. No injuries were reported. The incident is under investigation. We have cloudy skies out there this noon, and we're thankful for those clouds since they'll help keep our afternoon temperatures from becoming scorching hot. Meteorologist Kat Campbell with a look at where temperatures stand now.
We're still in the 80s right now. You know, that's a big improvement. Yesterday we had 95, the day before 96, and we expect to only be in the low 90s this afternoon. But the clouds definitely nice. When I was out exercising this morning, it makes a difference. We're starting to see some more thinning of the clouds, though, so temperatures should jump up into the 90s still this afternoon. 88 in Durham right now at the DBAP, 88 degrees in Raleigh at the WRAL Gardens, and in Fayetteville at Segra Stadium, 89 degrees this afternoon. The muggy meter, it is still in the tropical category. We're not likely to see much relief from the tropical category of the muggy meter anytime soon. We're all the way at the top, and what this is the dew point, this number here, and that's a measure of moisture in the atmosphere. Once you learn the scale, this is really the best tool that we have to figure out how sticky and humid it feels outside. Using dew point, it's better in the summer months to use that as opposed to the relative humidity. Temperatures right now sitting in the upper 80s in the Triangle, 88 in Rocky Mount, 85 in Goldsboro, and 82 in Roxborough. The hottest spots, 89 for Southern Pines and Fayetteville. Heat index values already up to 100 in Fayetteville, 102 already in Clinton, and 99 in Southern Pines. It's going to be hot out there if anybody's playing golf today. A good day to head to the pool, but you've got to keep your eyes to the skies. If you see any dark clouds in the distance, take note. We have a better chance for some scattered thunderstorms today. And don't forget, you can always pull out your WRAL weather app and check in on the Dual Doppler 5000 radar if you do see some suspicious, tall, dark-looking clouds in the distance. Otherwise, just try to take a nice dip in the pool this afternoon as we deal with the heat index near 100 again. Thunderstorm chances today, they're going to be in the scattered category. Yesterday, storms were isolated, about a 30% chance. Today, a little better chance. We're not to the widespread category, but there will be more storms on the radar this afternoon. I think especially once we get past 4 o'clock. You still have a couple of hours, though, before storm chances really climb. It's a small chance as we get toward 2, 3 o'clock. Satellite and radar showing the rain toward the mountains so far. We've got more clouds pushing in from the west just as we begin to clear out. We're going to be watching for those clouds to really bubble up and grow in height, and that's a sign that the storms are beginning to form. Your weekend planner features a lesser chance for storms. There's still going to be some storms on the radar each afternoon. After all, it is July. High temperatures in the lower 90s. It's humid. That helps to spark these storms. But there's likely to be less activity on the radar, so I wouldn't cancel your weekend plans just yet, though Sunday is trending a bit wetter, so check in for an update this afternoon. Another trend I'm noticing with less storms on the radar this weekend, the heat index approaches that dangerous 105 mark, so we're going to be watching for a potential heat advisory, mainly in our southern counties. Otherwise, it's just hot and humid. Try to find a nice shady spot, a pool, a lake, some way to stay cool or stay inside. Just make sure you're staying hydrated this week. It's 90s for high temperatures across the board. A chance of a thunderstorm each day. There are going to be some storms on the radar each day. At least there's less of them as we get into Friday and Saturday. Early next week, though, rain chances are going to rise once again. So hopefully you can get some rain in your yard, your garden, for those of you who need it at home. Renee and Jeff?
Kat, thank you. Well, sharks are not the only marine life to keep an eye out for at the beach this summer. Tonight on WRAL News at 5, we're learning more after 6 people, including children, were stung by Portuguese man-o-wars over the weekend on North Carolina's beaches.
Summer equals growth, and we're talking about grasses and shrubs. Coming up, 5 on Your Side reveals the top products you need to tame your yard.
Meantime, still ahead this noon, a discount home goods store is going out of business. The money troubles permanently closing 2 locations in North Carolina.
Plus, technology inspired by nature. The cool feature of this particular insect that's helping to develop new sound absorbers.
A little bit of activity out there at White Lake and some clouds hanging around there as well. We could expect some storms in certain areas of our viewing area a little bit later this afternoon. Heat will be here all day, by the way. There's a change coming to Tyson Chicken and a milestone for flying cars. Maribel Aber has these headlines and more in today's Money Matters.
Tyson, the country's largest poultry producer, will soon stop using the No Antibiotics Ever label on its packaging. The company announced this week it will once again start using certain antibiotics in its chicken. This comes 8 years after it announced plans to ditch the drugs in some of its production and start marketing their products as having no antibiotics. In a CNN report, rival Purdue has said it will continue to remain antibiotic-free. The rivalry between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk is heating up even more. Zuckerberg's Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, is teasing a new app designed to compete with Twitter by offering a rival space for real-time conversations online. The app is called Threads. It's expected to go live Thursday, according to a listing in the App Store. It appears to have many similarities to Twitter based on its product description. Meta's move comes as Twitter is facing backlash from users over imposing temporary limits on how many tweets a user can read, calling it a data security measure. We are one step closer to entering the age of the Jetsons. Remember them? The Federal Aviation Administration has certified a flying car prototype out of California for testing, the first such vehicle to ever receive U.S. government approval. Leaf Automotive calls the car/aircraft the Model A. It says it drives like a regular car, but also has vertical takeoff and landing capabilities. If all goes well, Leaf expects to make the first customer deliveries in late 2025 at a price of $300,000. And it's fully electric. And those are your business headlines. I'm Maribel Aber at the NASDAQ Market Site.
A chain that brings you that holiday spirit all year round is going out of business. Christmas Tree Shops will liquidate all 70 of its stores in the coming weeks, including one in Fayetteville and one in Greensboro. Court filings show the chain defaulted on a $45 million loan. It already filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and then ran out of money to complete the reorganization plan. Christmas Tree stores started in the 1950s as a small holiday store in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. A growing number of parents say they are worried that they won't be able to pay for their kids' college education. A new survey found about 70% of parents say they don't feel prepared to pay for college. That's compared to 66% last year. The survey found strained savings because of inflation, not saving early enough, and increases in tuition are some of the factors that contributed to parents' concerns about paying for college.
Chaos in Knightdale for the 4th of July. We have a live report coming up to sort out what caused people to run from fireworks during the celebration.
And new security measures roll out in all Wake County public schools. What started today ahead of the first day of year-round school. First, here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
What was supposed to be a family-friendly event took a terrifying turn at the Knightdale 4th of July, the 4th on 1st event.
During the fireworks display, a loud noise caused a stampede. Authorities tell us this all stemmed from a prank. WRAL's Destiny Patterson is live at Knightdale Station Park, where it all happened. Destiny.
Well, more than 20,000 people were at this park yesterday to enjoy the 4th of July and watch the fireworks. That's according to a spokesperson. Authorities tell us, though, that someone lit a fountain firework in the middle of the crowd near the food trucks while that fireworks show was going on. And many people thought that that sound was gunfire, but it was not. In this video, you can see that caused mass panic and groups of people to take off running. I talked to a parent who says he's disappointed to hear that a family-friendly event ended so poorly.
I think it's a shame that individuals that want to come out and enjoy fireworks with their families have to be concerned about children being stampeded and hurt in a beautiful environment like this.
Well, now we're told that there were no injuries during that incident, and we're also told that there were no reports of guns during that event and no shots fired. We're still working to find out if there are any suspects in this case and if there will be any charges filed.
Thank goodness no one was hurt, but what an ordeal for those folks. Destiny Patterson live in Knightdale.
3-2 to Masabe. Line out to right center. Falls for a hit. This will tie the game. Dini and Gray are in. Here's Aranda on the way home. It's a miracle.
Straight to miracle status. Wow, fans filled the D-BAP for the 4th of July and got a big thrill before the special fireworks started. The Bulls scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. They were losing 5-0. And they came away with that miraculous 6-5 win over the Norfolk Tides. A fitting way to lead into the holiday celebration that followed. Yeah, the fireworks on the field weren't enough. How about this? Afterward, more than 11,000 fans stuck around the D-BAP and were treated to this amazing fireworks show after the game. All in all, it was a pretty memorable night for all those families who are at the game to celebrate Independence Day.
Shots fired at a party landed 2 people in the hospital in Orange County. The Breaking News Tracker checked out the scene on Riddle Avenue in Hillsborough this morning. When police were called to the area, they found a 21-year-old woman and a 34-year-old man with gunshot wounds. They were taken to a hospital by ambulance. Police are still investigating how it all played out. We now know the name of the person who was found dead in the woods on Picket Fence Lane in Raleigh. Police say he's 28-year-old Dexter Ingram. Investigators believe his death is connected to a shots fired call from the same location over the weekend. At the time, there were no reported injuries. Officers found Ingram 2 days later. Police have not shared any information about who the shooter is.
New security measures rolled out today at Wake County Public Schools. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey takes us through the new protocols designed to keep students and staff safe.
This new visitor management system that launches today will check for 3 things: recent custody orders, protection orders, and sex offender registries. So visitors will go up to the front desk, go to an iPad, scan their ID, type in some personal information, and then get a background check within minutes. Year-round school district employees received training last week ahead of some students starting school July 11th. If a visitor gets flagged when they check in, it will alert school resource officers, security personnel, and administrators. This new system is launching as a part of the district's response to a 2019 security audit of their schools.
There's a lot of visitor management systems that are out there. And what we're trying to accomplish here is consistency across the district so that when somebody signs in, they're signing into the same system.
But what happens if there's some type of issue with the iPads? Well, the district has already thought through that, so they've trained their employees on how to manually check people in through their own computers that are behind the front desk. And they're hoping to work through any kinks in the system before the first day of school on August 28th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Today's County by County coverage takes us to Cumberland and Orange counties. Cumberland County is keeping its cooling centers open through Friday to provide relief from this heat. Good plan. The Cumberland County Department of Social Services lobby is open daily 7:30 until 5. The County Department of Public Health and all branches of the public libraries are available. The Fayetteville Area System of Transit will also have its lobbies open.
Orange County, meantime, has changed its guidelines for requesting emergency housing assistance. Households can request the help if they're facing eviction, disconnection of utilities, or are already without a home. There are no income restrictions, but you do have to show proof of income.
Job hunting is starting to get tougher in the Triangle. The trend WRAL TechWire is tracking in terms of job openings.
And taking a page from the playbook of bugs, the insect that helped researchers create technology to cancel out unwanted noise. Job openings in the Triangle hit their lowest point in years. WRAL TechWire jobs report shows a little more than 232,000 jobs posted right now. That's the 15th week this year job openings in the area have hit a new low, and the lowest we've seen since WRAL TechWire started tracking this data 2 years ago. Go to WRAL.com or TechWire.com to read an in-depth analysis of why the numbers are trending down.
Artificial intelligence is being linked to job layoffs in the industry that created it, tech. A small but growing number of tech firms have cited AI as a reason for laying off workers and rethinking new hires in recent months. The AI-driven layoffs come as broader cuts are also affecting the industry. Many tech companies are readjusting to an uncertain economic environment. More than 200,000 tech workers nationwide have been laid off so far this year. IBM is closing down a project launched to help schools through COVID. The company says it will no longer offer its Cloud for Education program effective immediately. Support for current customers ends November 30th. The program was designed to make computing lab resources available off campus. A statement from IBM says other programs that have launched in recent years that can provide the same or better support to academics.
The next generation of noise-canceling technology was inspired by bugs. Researchers took cues from silk moths and how they managed to hide from bats. The moth's wings absorb the high-frequency sound waves that bats use to locate their prey. A particle accelerator showed researchers the structures on the wings in fine detail.
We are working hard to translate this evolved sound absorber with its fantastic abilities into something that we can use at our frequency range.
So they're calling this new technology sonic wallpaper. The team hopes to bring the product to market within the next 2 years.
A ruling from the top court in the European Union means more restrictions for Facebook. The social media company must now receive consent from its European users before it can send them personalized ads. And that's a core aspect of Facebook's business model. Parent company Meta Platforms issued a statement saying it's reviewing the ruling and will have more to say in due time. An artist has found a way to optimize his chalk drawings for social media. How he makes the chalk stand up off the sidewalk. Look at that, next at noon.
That is neat. Also, a local football team takes cross-training to a new level, while the Eagles are spending a day with Durham firefighters.
Happening now in the WRAL Live Center. If I can get this to go, there we go. King Charles and Queen Camilla are in Scotland today, taking part in a ceremony in Scotland. This ceremony is happening at St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. King Charles and Queen Camilla were presented with the crown jewels of Scotland, known as the Scottish Honours. The service of Thanksgiving and surrounding events are part of the New King's campaign to strengthen the monarchy's ties with the four nations that make up the United Kingdom. Now, Scotland has a long-standing independent streak, and polls suggest the monarchy is less popular among the Scots than the rest of the UK. Of course, this is part of the new King's efforts to bridge those communication and possibly improve his approval ratings in Scotland, so to speak.
Thanks for that update, Ken. As they prepare for the start of a new season, the North Carolina Central football team did a different kind of training this morning. They got a taste of what it's like to be a firefighter. The team came out to Durham's Fire Department training ground on Club Boulevard. The players ran through a series of exercises, including the firefighter agility test. The training isn't just about their athleticism, it's about team building as well.
You never know how long you're going to have to do your job. So to be able to hold that line and stand in there and take that heat and take those flames and stay in the fire with your teammates, hopefully we're getting some of that out of this.
Good lesson. The players tried their hands at all kinds of mock firefighting situations. They are the same exercises, though, that firefighter applicants go through before they get the job.
Cross-training to a whole new level. Everyone has fireworks for the 4th of July. A town in Minnesota has 3D chalk art. The artist draws a two-dimensional picture that pops up when you take a picture. Jonah Kaplan shows us how he does it.
Delano's 4th of July celebration might be known as Minnesota's oldest.
Sit right by that piece of tape right here.
But there's something new that's really catching everyone's attention.
Put your hands up like you're getting a picture.
Something they want to capture for themselves.
It's really fun to get people involved because they remember it more.
Meet Sean McCann, a chalk artist for more than 20 years, who is literally adding a new dimension to his portfolio. The process starts with both print and digital sketches. The liquid chalk helps make it pop.
And then from there, I do some math and calculations of how big it's going to be, how it's going to come together. We're in a viral age to where people love to have those Instagram photos or TikTok videos. And so with the 3D street art that I do, it's something that you don't really know what you're looking at until you hit that magic point.
He wants to inspire the next generation of artists by getting them outside.
We're working against Mother Nature, we're working outside, we're working with all the elements. And so it's more about the act of creating than the finished piece. It really is like celebrating your space and your town and your area.
They pop all right.
Yeah.
McCann has been working on these 3D drawings on streets and sidewalks for a few years now, and you can find plenty of examples on his Instagram account, but it's Instagram gold.
It's so cool how the little girl was sitting in front of that one with the hands up. It
It's
looked
like a
like
live
it was,
camera
it
there,
is
Polaroid.
cool 3D stuff. I love it. Sidewalks are pretty hot now. You want to draw on them, you have to do it in the shade. Be very careful out there. It's hot.
Absolutely. I think that paint would just melt away here in North Carolina. Maybe not so much in Minnesota, but looking outside today, we have had some clouds. Those are starting to disperse. It's not a bright, sunny blue sky, but we're starting to see some thinning of the clouds. The thing is we've got another band of clouds that's going to be pushing in from the southwest. So we're not done with the clouds yet. And what we're watching, we have this piece of energy, and these clouds are going to just kind of ride right along it. As we head throughout the afternoon, we'll see those clouds grow, they'll get taller, and eventually some scattered thunderstorms develop out of those clouds. For now, it's just a few spotty showers, mainly to the southwest. Nothing significant on the dual Doppler 5000 radar just yet. But as we head throughout the later afternoon and evening hours, storm chances climb to about 50%. It's a 40% chance of storms by 4 o'clock. After that, a 50% chance. And there is the potential that some of these showers and storms could even linger into the late night hours. Otherwise, it is warm and muggy outside the dew point. 71 right now. It's not stopping too many folks from getting out at Pinehurst Resort and Country Club, playing a round of golf. Less people out here today, though, in the heat. Still, as long as you can find some shade, take some breaks in the shade and drink plenty of water, you should be in fine shape. 89 degrees, the current temperature in Pinehurst, and it's even more humid in Pinehurst. The dew point, 75 degrees. I mean, that is incredibly high. Clinton near 80 for the dew point. It's a humid day out there, and because of that, the heat index pretty high. Not as high as it could be, though, with the sunshine. We've got the clouds to help, and temperatures down a little bit thanks to that. So our heat index today should top out right around 100, and will drop into the 80s for the heat index after sunset. Looking ahead to next week, above normal temperatures remain in the forecast. The normal high this year, 91. To put that into perspective, it's going to be a hot week next week again, and the big heat still centered over South Texas. Below normal temperatures, though, closer to the Midwest, the Dakotas, and that even extends into parts of Virginia, Tennessee, and West Virginia. Next week, we're also likely to stay pretty unsettled. Above normal rainfall remains in the forecast next week for most of North Carolina, near normal closer to the North Carolina coast. But as we think about July, I did want to mention the climatological peak of the heat. The hottest couple of days of the year on average come as we head throughout the middle of the month. The normal high, 91.1, and that is as we get into next week that we average numbers that high. And then as we head throughout the end of July and into August, it stays hot, but climatologically, that's the worst of the heat. Looking ahead, high temperatures in the lower 90s each and every afternoon. A better chance for storms today compared to yesterday. It's a 50% chance this afternoon, 40% tomorrow, and then 30% Friday and Saturday. We may need to bump up rain chances a bit on Sunday, so check in for an update on that this afternoon and evening. Early next week, still looking pretty unsettled. Low temperatures only fall into the 70s. As low as we go for the next 7 days, maybe 70 degrees by next Wednesday morning. No 60s to be found anywhere. Renee and Jeff.
All right, thanks for that, Kat. Surveillance video caught thieves robbing a jewelry store. And when we come back, what police know about this smash and grab.
First, here's a look at your winning Mega Millions numbers.
Well, happening now in the WRAL Lives, and here's a scene that will have anyone doing a double take. Yeah, that's a car in an apartment complex pool. Somehow the driver lost control, crashed through a fence, and ended up right in that apartment complex pool. You see the tow truck getting that car out of that pool. I want to show it to you again because, you know, usually when a crash happens, a tow truck shows up and, you know, puts the winch on the back and just pulls it away. But this time, they had to hire a dive team to get in there, attach that beam to the back of the car, and hoist it up so it can get out of the pool. Was no word yet on what caused this to happen. And of course, the good news here, no one was injured. And you can imagine, summertime, a pool, a lot of people should be around that pool. At that point, there were no one in that pool, and that was a good thing.
Might have been able to guess Florida there. Ken, thanks for that. We wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today.
We're following a breaking story in Durham right now. Part of I-40 eastbound was shut down this morning. One lane was closed while the family of a woman who had been in a car wreck searched for her. We know they had been searching for more than an hour when some family members left the scene. We're working on official confirmation on whether that woman was found and her condition.
A family of 9 is out of their home after a fire suspected to be linked to fireworks. Now, this happened early this morning in Selma on Myrtle Road, just off I-95. The WRAL breaking news tracker drove to that scene. The fire chief says the fire started from used fireworks thrown in the trash outside. Caught on fire and spread to the home. No one was hurt. The Red Cross is helping the family.
Big news for a Durham company. Wolfspeed just landed a huge contract. The company signed a 10-year deal to help make semiconductors for Japan-based Renesas Electronics. Investors like this morning's announcement. Wolfspeed's stock price is up about 15%.
A brazen jewelry store robbery in California caught on video. Check it out. Thieves smashed a car right through the front of Rodeo Jewelers in the town of Laverne. Now, once inside, several of those people got out of the vehicle, used a chair to smash the display cases. One of the people kept the owner busy while the others grabbed everything they could and left in a second car that was waiting outside.
A 4th of July message from Dubai. The country's tallest skyscraper and a top tourist attraction donned a stars and stripes and played the Star-Spangled Banner. The Dubai Tourism Twitter account posted this video along with the message wishing all Americans peace, progress, and prosperity.
Entertainer Meghan Trainor is giving more meaning to her single mother. She's now a mother of 2. The singer posted this announcement to Instagram, and it says Barry Bruce Trainor was born Saturday night, 8 pounds, 7 ounces. She and her husband also have a 2-year-old son named Riley. Today's pet of the day comes to us from Cat Angel's Pet Adoption. I want you to meet Galahad, a 4-year-old boy who loves to love people. He has a chatty nature, lets you know when he wants your attention. Galahad is neutered, chipped, vaccinated, and ready to find a forever home. If he is someone you want to meet, just head over to Cat Angel's website and fill out an application.
He is so handsome. As you get older, it's normal to struggle remembering things and multitasking. However, it may not be inevitable. Today at 4, we walk you through some ways to keep your mind sharp as you age. I feel like that was written for us, perhaps. For you.
Right?
We're all aging. It's okay. We're all aging.
Yeah. Exercise your brain as well as your body. Just keep moving out there. It helps
Just
everything.
Take it easy if you're going to exercise outdoors. It's going to be hot, and our heat index is going to get up to 100 today.
I know. That is just how many days in a row now? Goodness. Beautiful look at White Lake, though, out on the boat. NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
Remember, you can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. We hope you have a great day.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.